being able to recognize where you're at and stop making excuses and stop beating yourself up, right? Like we have to be our own best friend, and we also have to set down the luggage of excuses. And I think that when you were talking about that part of like getting in the trenches with somebody, Jamie, it makes me want to cry because it makes me think of watching somebody, and you're watching this person carry this luggage of excuses, and they're just trying to get up the stairs, and they're carrying this luggage, and they're carrying this luggage, and they're carrying this luggage. And you talk about it as drawing a line. I'm literally crying, but it's like that moment where they set it down. They set the luggage down. They set the excuses down. And instead of being the victim to their situation, they go, you know what, I'm going to put this down now. I'm going to put this old story, this old excuse, this old reason, this old belief away. And I'm going to actually like stand up a little taller. I'm going to freaking take the next step different. And I'm going to take the next step after that different.
Hey ladies, pull up a chair. It's about to get real. On your nasty clothes.
That's how I like to work out. Like that's
I
the
put
other
on
thing.
Clean workout clothes.
No, not dirty. I'm saying like this is the other piece, right? If I go to the gym, I feel like I have to wear like the nice leggings and the nice top, and like everybody at our gyms is like Lululemon out, like all this stuff, right? So you feel like you have to like look like, where I work out in my basement, I got like the baggy sweatpants, a baggy shirt on, hoodie. I'm like raw, you know, like I wouldn't go to the gym like that, but I just get a great workout at home in 30 minutes for free. And then, like I said, like after doing that for however long, it's like, yeah, you could join the gym now if you want.
Yeah, I mean, there's so much. There's so much online that's free,
Yeah,
right?
yeah, so much, so
Yeah.
much.
And a lot of that comes from us too. So
Yeah.
there's that. But so here's a thought. So like we're burning the mindset of the first thing I need to do is like I need to go to the gym. The gym is like that's the end all be all. That's what I'm missing. Da da da. But total health is not just found at the gym. It's not just found in your macros and your micros. It's not just found in like your supplement. Like it's not found in just one thing. It's total health is a realm of things.
Mhm.
And when we pick the like what I like to coach is like mindset, nutrition, exercise, consistency. That is like your ever looping like success right there. Um but I guess like burning the gym, we still want to move.
Mhm.
Burning the idea that that's where you need to go and that's like going to be the end all be all. That's what we're burning. But now that we're talking about this, accountability is really key in our results, right? So getting yourself around someone that you trust, that you're sharing your progress with, and you're doing that weekly. Did you know that it's been proven that having a goal is not enough? Like your success rate is about 10%. And if
Yes.
you share weekly accountability and have like conversations with like someone that you trust that can check you, not tell you what you need to hear, like, or not need to hear, want to hear, but truly check you. Like my checker is my sister-in-law. I tell her like I'm gonna work out 3 days a week, non-negotiable. That's what I'm doing. And like sometimes she'll be like, "Okay, I'm coming over to work out," and I'm like, I don't want to." She's like, "But you said." I'm like, "I know what I said, okay?" So I put on my shoes, I roll my eyes, and I get it in, and I'm grateful for her because she can check me because I allowed her to do that. So having an accountability partner is important. But people can find that at the gym in a community, like a group class
Yeah.
with building relationships with women that are all chasing that better mindset, that better health, that better whatever. You can find it there though too, which then can pour into making better choices on all the other things. But knowing that you're walking into the gym, that there are other pillars in our health that we have to focus on as well. Otherwise, we'll waste our gym.
You not just waste your gym, but how many stories have you heard of people actually creating more havoc for themselves because their
No, yeah.
bodies are more inflamed. They're not resting and recovering. They're not getting all their amino acids. Their muscles aren't recovering. They're hurting themselves. They have injury, like they're, or that gym mentality, especially some of those boutique gyms where you're really getting after it with your group and you're all in and you're challenging each other.
Right.
Now you're pushing too hard. You're not listening to your body. They're coaching you to push through, but there's no support on the back end of your actual nutrition, your recovery, or any of that. Like, how many stories are there? I lived through that personally.
Right.
Like, so there's also that side of that. Yes, you can get all of that in the gym, but do you have that back end support
Right.
for the other side?
Right. That's, you just got to take that step back. But you know what? A lot of gyms don't allow like your trainers to talk about nutrition.
No.
They don't want you talking about it.
Yeah.
Why?
Because
If you get your nutrition right, guess what? It's going to happen for your trainers. You're going to have better retention because they're going to have better results.
yeah. Yeah.
It's just wild to me that they don't like.
Well, because that's the other side of this is that in the beginning, like you said, you can't outwork a bad diet. Like the people that are like, I work out because I love food. Like, okay, that's fine.
Right. Well, so we talked about the diets, burning that. We talked about the gym or burning that. Here's a perspective. And maybe it's for tomorrow. I don't know. You let me know if this is lining up how it is in my head. You could have someone that is focusing on their calories, right? So I know we talked about this on a coaching call that we had with one of our challengers. You could have someone that is eating, let's say, 1,800 calories a day, right? And they're counting a calorie for a calorie, 1,800. And you could have someone same weight, same height, same everything, eating 1,800 calories, but they're eating based on their metabolism and they're filling in those gaps, and they are going to look like two completely different people.
Yep.
Prioritizing their protein, making sure that they're in their percentages and not like an overwhelm. Very simple. Yeah. But a calorie, maybe this is another burn. A calorie is not just a calorie.
Right. Yeah.
You have to make your calories count for you.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Cool. And you have to have the right buckets filled with that tool. And your body composition. And that matters on like physical appearance, but also our longevity and health.
Absolutely. Metabolic health, like.
Yeah, how you truly feel. That goes back to energy. And, I wanted to bring this up earlier in this conversation, back to what you were saying about this 200-pound Jamie, and it made me think of this story. I just love and adore her story on how she took the very first step was just changing out supplements. And she did that for 30 days, was just changing the supplements so that, and you could probably share the story a little better, but I grabbed from that story just that strong truth that there is no quick fix that's going to be sustainable. And when you actually can give yourself, instead of crunch time, get it in 30 days, 90 days, blah, 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 and I'm going to beat myself into submission, but you actually gave yourself the time that your body needed, and you started to fill in those pillars just consistently. Like if your girl would have been like, oh, my big goal is someday I'm going to run a marathon. And she's like, okay, so in order to do that, I have to join a gym and start running, and I have to find a running partner, and then I'll be good, right? She couldn't even get out of freaking bed. Like, how is this person who has that goal going to get there just by jumping over all of this stuff that she took the time to get in order? And I just love that.
Yeah. And she took it in bite size.
Right.
Like, this month I'm going to focus on this month I'm going to focus on nutrition.
And
like,
it wasn't
exercise was actually the last thing that she focused on. And she had such an emotional moment when she crossed that marathon.
Yeah.
Everything was just like, it came like full circle for her. And she's seen her kids on the other end who seen her not being able to show up as the mom that she wanted to because she just didn't have the energy to get out of bed, literally. And she was like, this is just my life. And she decided at some moment of like, let me find this line in the sand, let me grab this motivation, let me find this hope in someone's words that it can be this simple, and I don't want to be where I'm at anymore. And in order to not be where I'm at anymore, I need to make a pivot. So I'm going to try this thing. And she did. And the moments of her crossing that finish line, not only of the emotion of everything that she strived for in that moment, in her 40s, lost 40 pounds and made it so simple. She's seen as she looked up her kids on the other end of that cross, like that finish line. And one of her kids had a sign that said, "This is what hard work looks like."
Love it.
And it was just like hit her like a ton of bricks.
Love it.
And hard doesn't necessarily always mean impossible. It's like choose your hard, right?
It's your heart. And like that's the point. The kid didn't see their mother like go on some crazy ass restrictive diet or take some sort of hormone to lose all this weight first, because if I lose 40 pounds in a month, then I'll be able to run, because we know her energy would have gone down and she would have lost all her muscle mass and not been able to run. Like,
Right.
this kid saw that mother choose every single day to fuel her body with whole foods, to make sure that she was giving herself what she needed, to make those hard choices, to change these habits, and to slowly get the energy to then make some new choices and the next step of habits, and then to slowly be motivated to do the next thing and the next thing till she got to the point of running. And I just think that that is so beautiful and exactly how it should be.
One of my favorite parts about what I get to do is when you get to look at someone and they catch that belief within themselves that they're doing the dang thing. Like, that's my favorite part. And I think it's my favorite part because I'm the type of person that sits in the trenches and sits in the pain and asks those questions
Yeah.
of like, tell me about where you're at.
Yeah.
Tell me about what you've tried. Tell me about what you've done. Like, I don't want to hear, oh, it would be nice if I lost 10 pounds or 20 pounds. Like, I don't want that. I don't want it. It would be nice. You talk about words are powerful. I want you to tell me what you want to reach, rock, and maintain the rest of your happy, healthy life. Because that's what we do here. The whole point of bettering your health is to keep it healthy. Like, you got to better it. You want to keep it better. And I think that's probably why that's my favorite part, because I know how much it means to them to get to their mountaintop. Because the first like goal that you share, especially when you've tried all the things, you've made the same New Year's resolution over and over. Every year you do that, I'd almost put money on the table that every year you make the same resolution, you less than your goals when you share it with someone.
Yep.
And why I can say that is because that was me.
Yep.
Guaranteed, because your belief within the it's going to work shrinks every single year because you're making the same.
Because you know inside you're like, you're actually a joke. You're not going to do this. Like, you haven't done it already. You're not going to, like, you know, as you're saying it, you know in the back of your head, like, you haven't done that. Your confidence is completely shot in yourself. And that's why I think it's incredible to set those smaller goals. And that goes back to the initial question you asked me about this person looking to invest $160. Where would you invest it? Is back in that first initial goal of, listen, can you just like make the choice today, because you have, your confidence is rock bottom. You have failed yourself on all these other huge monster things that you're trying to do. Can you just make the choice today to, you know, eat according to your metabolism and show up in the day? And then tomorrow, can you make that choice and do that thing? And as every day that you stack on each other of showing up for yourself starts to raise your confidence, because you're proving to yourself, like, I'll show up for you. I'll show up for you, girl. Like, I got you. I love that you say that about your story. Like, you had to be my own cheerleader, you know, and realize that this was the girl that was going to get me to where I wanted to be. And I think I look at my life that way when things are hard and you have to make those hard choices and you have to do those uncomfortable things, is just that type of mentality where you go like, come on, girl, we got this. And when you do that, you boost that confidence in yourself, and then
Absolutely.
it compounds.
Right. I love that because it's like I always say it's the small hinges in our life that will always open up the big doors. You know what I
Yeah,
mean?
absolutely.
And just the perspective of like being that 200-pound Jamie Summers and then like crossing that line of like, I got to stop tearing her down in the mirror and I got to start lifting her up because if I'm tearing her down, that's the girl that I'm looking back in the mirror that's going to change my life. Because if not for the 200-pound Jamie Summers, this Jamie Summers wouldn't be sitting here today.
Yeah, and it's
She
not
had my back
crazy.
when
It's not.
I tore her down. Like, it's just, you have to.
I remember hearing a story. Actually, you know this person too, but they were a high level athlete, super high level, like Olympic level, high level athlete. And she had had babies and gotten out of her sport and all this stuff. She was trying to get back in shape and she was just struggling, like, because in her head, she was this high level athlete still, and she like couldn't get there. And and her confidence had completely plummeted and she was like in a really dark place. And she told this story of literally this same idea of having to boost the confidence. She was like, I got to a point where I was like, all right, girl, get in the freaking closet. I want you to do 5 crunches today and 5 push-ups. That's it. Like, she lowered the bar from Olympic level athlete that she had placed on herself, this huge monster, like, this is who you were, this is what you were. Like, she lowered the bar so low for herself because she had failed herself so many times that she was like, I laughed at myself that this is what I'm doing. Like, get in the closet and do 5 sit-ups and 5 push-ups. And I was so embarrassed of this. She goes, but after 3 days of doing it, I'm walking around the house telling my husband, like, I did my crunches, I did my push-ups. Like, she's feeling like the boost, right? And she went through the story of how that's how she got back into that high level again. But it was being able to recognize where you're at and stop making excuses and stop beating yourself up, right? Like, we have to be our own best friend, and we also have to set down the luggage of excuses. And I
Dude,
think that when you were talking about that part of like getting in the trenches with somebody, Jamie, it makes me want to cry because it makes me think of watching somebody, and you're watching this person carry this luggage of excuses, and they're just trying to get up the stairs, and they're carrying this luggage and they're carrying this luggage and they're carrying this luggage. And you talk about it as drawing a line. I'm literally crying, but it's like that moment where they set it down. They set the
yeah,
luggage down. They set the excuses down.
redefine.
And
So
instead
good.
of being the victim to their situation, they go, you know what? I'm going to put this down now. I'm going to put this old story, this old excuse, this old reason, this old belief away. And I'm going to actually like stand up a little taller. I'm going to freaking take the next step different. And I'm going to take the
Good.
next step after that different, And
So good.
that was one of the defining moments in my life when I realized, like, you are where you are because of the choices that you've made, but you can be anywhere you want to be because of the choices you will make moving forward. And you have power over that. You have control over that.
100%. Oh, that's so good. That visual of just walking up
Oh,
those flight of stairs with so much like struggle and frustration.
and
And
you're watching,
what
you're like, put
what
it
made me, but we're the one choosing to hold on to it.
down.
That's
Yeah,
the crazy part about it.
yeah,
We hold on so tight because we think this is what we need
yeah,
and not realizing that a lot of times that's what's holding us back.
yeah.
Oh, so freaking good. So good. So, oh, that like gives me like the goosebumps with that. Like I can
That's
literally
fine.
like, yeah,
Yeah.
I love that so much. Oh my goodness. Um, so here's the thing. We're not telling you to not go to the gym.
No.
Just have your book open with things, right? And two, like personal training, little side tip. When I walked into the gym that I used to work at before I like did anything, reassess the clients, these trainers were not tracking where like at all what they were doing. I'm like, can't track what you don't measure,
Mhm.
right? So if you have a trainer, like make sure that they have a plan for you and that they're tracking it, right? Um, prioritize your nutrition, let go of the weight that's holding you back.
Mhm.
And when you do the mindset of I need to join the gym, don't ever discredit the simplicity of a free walk or the simplicity of a YouTube workout or the simplicity of, going on a bike ride, jumping in the pool, parking further at the grocery store, and walking more. All movement matters,
Yep.
right?
Yep.
But in order to move our body in the right direction, it starts with that mindset, that nutrition. You got to fuel the body in order to get the body that you want. Being in the gym space, man, you see so many people that are like losing weight. They're on these crazy diet plans. They're working out like crazy. And like the ownership of the scale going down, like we think that's a win. We're going to talk about this in another day. I know it.
Mm-hmm.
But there is a difference between correct weight loss and not correct weight loss. And I always say that seeing muscle definition on the other side. And if you're not fueling your body the right way, the correct side doesn't ever happen.
Yeah.
It's like it's that skinny fat. We don't want that. We want to be strong.
Yeah.
But yeah, I don't know. That was so good. I love the stair analogy.
Yeah.
I feel like a lot of people are going to resonate with that. It's really good.
Yeah. That's like the picture that I saw when you were talking. I'm like,
It's so good.
Yeah.
Put that luggage down.
Down.
You ever see that SNL skit where he's like, put that cocoa down? That's
No. Now I gotta look it up.
Oh, it's so funny. Always be closing. It's so funny. I don't know why I thought of that. I totally like took a moment and I pivoted in the wrong direction right there.
Good.
Well, actually, yeah, put that cocoa down.
Good. That's the other side, right? Like, do the thing. Fitness doesn't have to be brutal. It doesn't have to be torture. Like, you can have fun. Like, you can totally have fun. And like you said, all movement counts, and it counts in different ways when you look at that holistic person. Like like you said, you started out in Zumba and it was fun and you got addicted and you loved it, and that raises your vibe and that raises your ability to fight stress, right? So because stress is just going to cause more of a problem on us. So if you can release stress and it's fun and you're enjoying it and moving your body, like win,
Yeah.
I'm a huge fan of just even, there's the natural ways. Think of when we were kids, you played outside.
Kick the can, foursquare.
Yeah, kickball, or you go
tag.
snowboarding, or you're, doing these things that are fun and moving. So yeah, there's a lot of free ways to move.
Right. Well, I'll leave the ladies with this. If you do decide to join a gym, don't put unrealistic expectations on how many days you're showing up.
Yeah.
If you can't do it for the rest of your life, like, don't say I'm going to work out twice a day, 7 days a week.
Yeah.
Like, you want to enjoy the process. So keep that in mind. Everyone's going to have a different non-negotiable, right? And also don't put on the perspective walking in the gym that there are people judging you, because everybody had their day one, and we don't walk around with big billboards over our heads stating our struggles. And just because somebody looks a certain way doesn't mean that they have their health in check either. So like, the gym is usually a very good community space.
Yeah.
So go into it knowing why you're showing up, because guess what? Those people that are showing up there are also showing up for the same reasons.
Yeah.
Don't matter where you're at in the spectrum. Everyone has a different day one. Just like that lady. That's probably why I talked about the lady at Target. Like, it pissed me off when that person was shaming them.
Yeah.
Like, you will have jerks in life. Like, that's what happens. But like, you don't know where that person was. You don't know where they're at. You know what I mean? So like, I don't know.
So good.
So good. But yeah. All right. Another day, another burn.
Yes. I'm loving this.
It's so good. So good. Yeah. We don't really have any notes. Like, this is just raw, real chat. Like, we could definitely probably be more streamlined and like keeping it very blueprinty, but we're
But
just,
we have the blueprint, and if you have questions, drop them below. I mean, that's
yeah,
also the beautiful part about this is just a community. Like we want to know you, we want to connect with you, we want to help you. Drop your questions, drop your struggles, drop your wins. We want to celebrate you. Like if
yes,
you're listening and you're like, "Yes, I'm there with you," and I'm celebrate. Like we want to
yeah,
celebrate with you. So if there's more topics or direction or thing you want to go in, drop it down below.
absolutely. Well, on that, you ladies all make one choice today that's going to move you in the right direction. Put a freaking suitcase down,
Yes, yes,
drop it,
yes.
and you'll see that it's going to be so much easier walking up those stairs.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep. Amen.
All right. Well, on that note, we will see you later.
Bye. See you in the ladies' room.